This is the original iPhone SE, and I pulled it out of an old drawer today because my kids were asking for new iPhones. Now, to be fair, their phones are pretty old, but I wanted to show them what iPhones used to be like. And honestly, I thought it'd be fun just to see how this little guy holds up in 2025. Now, remember, this thing was first released way back in 2016. So right away, you can't help but appreciate the design of this phone. It's iconic. Essentially, it's an iPhone 5S body with updated internals. You've got that small 4-inch Retina display, and of course, the classic home button. Holding it today feels both nostalgic and refreshing. It's light, it's compact, and you can easily use it with one hand. And I even forgot I even had this in my pocket at one point today. So let's go over the specs real quick. This is rocking a 4-inch Retina screen with a resolution of 1136 by 640. It's powered by Apple's A9 chip. This is the same one found in the iPhone 6S. You've only got 2 gigs of RAM here, a 12 megapixel rear camera, and a 1.2 megapixel front camera. Now, the first gen SE is capped at iOS 15, but surprisingly, it still gets security updates. When I powered this on, it actually had one waiting to download, which is great to see from Apple after all these years. The battery health right now on this is sitting at 80%, which isn't terrible considering its age, but it definitely drains a lot faster than modern iPhones. And speaking of modern iPhones, here's a side by side comparison with my current iPhone, the iPhone 16 Pro. It's kind of crazy to see how far smartphones have gotten. At one point years ago, everyone wanted a smaller phone. Now, of course, the focus is on making the phone as big as possible and still being able to fit it in your pocket. Now, before I try some apps and games on this, let's talk about storage. So, the original iPhone SE had two storage options. You had 16 gigs and 64 gigs. A year later, they actually upgraded those options to 32 and 128 gigs of storage. The one I have has 32 gigs, which is not a whole lot, but I can't even imagine trying to use this with only 16 gigs of storage. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is try out some web browsing. I'm going to open up Safari and see how good or how bad the load times are for some websites. So here I am on MLB.com, and I can scroll through and check out some of the latest scores or news for the playoffs here. And, it's a little sluggish. It is usable, I think, in my opinion. But some people might get annoyed with the load times here. There's a lot going on this website. I got this ad here I have to wait for. All right, there you go. But, it is usable. You can browse through it. All right, now let's try another website. We're going to go to nassau.gov. And I was looking at this before, so it does load in a little bit quicker. And, it's not too bad here. I think it's very usable, actually. And I'm just going to scroll a little bit more here so you guys can really get an idea of how it is to use this for web browsing. All right, next thing I wanted to do is see if I could use the YouTube app. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to download it because I need iOS 16 in order to use it, which I don't have on this device. I only have up to iOS 15, which is a bummer. Now, I do want to mention for this video, I did create a brand new Apple account. And I wonder if I logged in with my old original account, if I might be able to download an older version of the YouTube app. But unfortunately, right now, I am not able to download the YouTube app. So I'll have to try YouTube via web browsing on Safari. All right, so here I am browsing YouTube. Unfortunately, only in Safari, not in the YouTube app. And scrolling through videos is perfectly fine. So I'm going to pick something to play right now just to show you guys how it looks. All right, I'm going to make sure I choose something that is copyright free. All right, guys. So I actually had to mute the music in this part of the video because when I originally tried to upload this to YouTube, I got a copyright warning. So even though the video I selected states copyright free, the music in the video is not copyright free. So, in my opinion, the title of this video that I'm playing here should be changed. Anyway, as you can see, the video playback in YouTube does look pretty decent considering the screen size of the iPhone SE Gen 1. So I think this video looks pretty good. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. All right, now I'm going to try to find some copyright free music so you guys can get an idea of what the speakers sound like.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left.
All right, speakers aren't that great, but remember the age of this phone. So I also downloaded the VLC player and transferred a movie onto this to see how it would play. Unfortunately, I can't really show you too much of the movie because I don't want to get a claim, but it did work very
You're
well.
sorry. So it's cool now. It's over.
Next thing I wanted to see if I could actually do a little gaming on this really small phone. So first I tried Subway Surfers and I gotta say it worked pretty well. I'll show you guys some gameplay footage here. So I wanted to try one of the most popular games around for kids right now, which is Roblox, and it did work well. And here's Call of Duty Mobile. I was a little surprised that it still works on this phone. Using the touchscreen was a little challenging because of the limited space you have on the screen because it's such a small screen. But yeah, it works.
Enemy in sight.
And if you wanted to use this as an emulation device, you definitely could. I downloaded RetroArch, and here I am playing some Aladdin with Sega Genesis, and works pretty well, as you can see. So, like I said before, the YouTube app I was not able to download, and I wasn't able to download the Netflix app as well, but you are able to load some other streaming apps, including this one, 2BTV, which is pretty cool. It's a free app. It does have commercials, but it's very usable. So I can definitely see people using this as a dedicated music player. This does come with a headphone jack, which some users will really appreciate. I discovered this great app called iBroadcast, which actually lets you upload your MP3 files and then you can stream them or you can download those MP3 files directly onto your phone. Really love this app. Google Music used to have something like this, but they discontinued it. The iBroadcast app is completely free, by the way. And before I wrap this up, I do want to show off the camera a little bit here. So, like I said, it's a 12 megapixel camera, not the best, but as long as you have good lighting, you can get by with it. There is no night mode on this camera, so that might bum some people out. And I did take some photos with my iPhone 16 Pro just to show a little comparison here. And here's the side by side pics of both cameras, both phones. So I don't know how many people are going to run out or go online and purchase the Gen 1 iPhone SE. It could be used as a backup phone if you already have one lying around or something that you can give a kid to use for gaming. I like the idea of using it as a dedicated music player myself. It's kind of nice to hold a phone that doesn't feel like a small tablet. It's crazy to see how far iPhones have come, but this little guy still has some charm to it. Maybe smaller is better, but that's going to do it for this video. Let me know if you are still using an iPhone SE or a different older model of an iPhone. Please hit that like and subscribe button. I would appreciate it. Thanks for watching.